All right, folks, we are live. So let's see how many people are joining. If you're online, I can see 22 people have already joined. So if you've joined, please give a shout out in comments that you've joined. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? All right. So I see a lot of people joining in. Let's give it a minute or two before we go live. Thank you for all the support. All right. So I'm just gonna share my screen before we get started. Okay, so guys, so let's get started. Before we begin, I would want to understand from which city are you joining from? All right, if you can type in which city are you joining from? Jamshedpur, Bangalore, Gaya, Kolkata, Pune, Faridabad, Bangalore, Kolkata. A lot of people from Kolkata, Mumbai, Pune, Durgapur, Thane. Wow, so it's a mix of a lot of audience. Okay, and a lot of people from Bangalore as well. So I'll start with a poll. Which tool do you use the most? Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek. Okay, let's wait for the polls to come. Thanks for all the likes. Guys, please, I have just posted a poll. This is my first live, so pardon if I'm a little, stumbling between the things. Okay, I see a lot of people use ChatGPT. Okay, just guys, let you know, a lot of people in professional world have stopped using ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not able to keep up with the pace. The things are changing really, really fast. While we will cover some bit of ChatGPT today, just to show you the techniques that how to use it better, I would want to focus a lot on Claude because Claude is better platform to build your AI agents. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start with sharing my screen. So basically, there are three levels where people learn AI. Okay, there are three levels. One is chatting, where people chat on ChatGPT, Claude, or different tools, and they copy paste the result into their output. The second level is automation, where you build some sort of a task using AI agents, using the platforms like ChatGPT, Google, Gemini, where you structurally paste a prompt, and I will talk about what is prompt, and then or a completely agentic AI, where basically agent does all the job. Right. This session is going to be basic. If you are new, if you have not worked really on, if you're not really worked on building agents, or you're confused what is AI agent, which everybody is talking about, today we're gonna clear that. All right. So let's start with sharing my screen. Let me present my screen. All right. Putting your first image. All right. Let me know when you can see my screen. Is my screen visible, guys? I think it is. Okay. Let me present this quickly. Okay. So today we're gonna start with first understanding that what is and how do we do prompt engineering. Do you know what is prompt engineering? Anyone would like to? Everybody knows prompt engineering. Okay. Okay. Before we begin, I just would want to cover who am I. There are a lot of people who have worked with me, and there is a lot of people in today who have not worked with me. My name is Gaurav. I had engineering for Reward 360. Reward 360 builds platform for the banks for customer engagement. So if you have heard of iShop, Smart Buy. These are the platform done by my company, and I had engineering for this. I have built and sold my own startup in the past. It's called Converse.ai. I sold it to a US based company, and then I moved on to working with a very exciting startup where we're using a lot of AI to migrate a lot of our tech debt into new stack. And we'll talk about. I'll cover. Uh, I do not will not get much into technology, but technically a lot of platform is old and we are renewing, and it's a very exciting work that we're doing. And if you would like to follow me on LinkedIn, I have my QR code here. You can scan it and follow me on LinkedIn. All right, today's session will cover three parts. As I said, we'll learn the prompt engineering. We'll learn how to use some of the tools available in the market to build some sort of an automation. Automation is essentially doing your task automatically, and then we'll talk about building your first agent. This agent you will learn on Claude, and most of the AI platforms to build an agents are paid. There are free ways. We'll talk about it. But today's session will show that how cloud works. This is what we will cover today. And we'll start with prompt engineering. So, as we have covered, prompt engineering, it's a way to produce similar output over and over again using a chat GPT kind of an LLM. Okay, ChatGPT was the first model to build an LLM, but now there are many more effective models available in the market, and we will cover about how to get a proper output. The technique that I use personally is called RCCF model, which stands for role, context, command, and format. Uh, if you why do we need to define this big prompt? Because if you will not give a proper prompt, your AI will not be able to give you similar results. But let's say you are working on a chat GPT thread or a Claude thread where you have given multiple tasks or multiple prompts or messages to chat GPT to create some sort of an output that's acceptable to you. How do you want to make it more repeatable and make it more consistent next time is something that we're going to cover here. Okay, so if you don't want your llms to behave in a different way, use this format. There are many techniques. RCCF is one of the most balanced technique. There are many others. I'll talk about it, I'll not cover it, but RCCF is primarily the most balanced technique that people use, where it gives you right context, you give a right role, you give a right command and a format. Why do you need to give this role? Okay, so you need to understand that how AI models were trained. It is trained of a lot of data on internet. People digitize a lot of data on internet. They digitize books, they digitize multiple things, and then AI agents were trained. So if you say you are a product manager at an organization, it will refer to the knowledge of the product manager of an organization who has posted a lot on online. But let's say if you're working on a very small startup, let's say XYZ Inc., and you say you are a product manager of an XYZ Inc., it does not add any value. Unless you know that company or that profile is very public, use that role or use a generic role. You are a product manager. It knows what a product manager is. It knows, let's say if you're a sales agent, you can say you're a sales agent, you're a sales rep, you're a vice president of sales. So it understands all of that persona. The next thing is a context. AI does not know who you are, what you do, what are you looking for. There are many ideas in your mind. So more you define your context about your company, your background, the work that you want to do, the things that you know only, the things that might not be available on internet, you give the context, and then you give a command is actually what you want to do. There are some examples like write a 200 word explained a cause of global warming. You want it in a text format, you want it in a word format, you want to create a ppt. What you want to do is you will give in the format, but in command you say what you want it to be doing. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Okay, and this is a link. You don't need, you can take screenshots, or I will share this PPT in the community. Please, guys, if you're part of the community, do join my community, and I'll be sharing a lot of post study material, things and news that are happening on AI world. AI is revolving really really fast, and it is gonna add a lot of value to human, but if you're not gonna keep up, it will become your enemy. It can do things much faster than you, anything that you're doing repeatedly. So my idea is you learn your prompts, you do your tasks with AI so that you become 10x, 20x more productive at what you do. Okay, so giving you an example, so I'm giving you a simple example. The role is you're an expert career coach. Okay, so it knows the persona. I'm and a recent graduate applying for my first role in IT. I have the following skills, blah blah blah. So you're giving a context of your skills, and then you're saying write a LinkedIn summary that highlights my skill and under 150 words, professional tone, three short paragraph. So you are giving a very very specific instruction. Let's try this out into a chat GPT. Okay. So for this I'll use chat GPT, but I personally do not use chat GPT. So if you are using chat GPT, it's not a good tool anymore. Okay, so I'll just stop sharing my screen and I'll share another tab. Alrighty, where is the tab? All right, so I'm opening. If you can see my screen, so now I am writing about. Okay, I have learned Java, Node.js, Python, and a bit of uh, okay, front end using JavaScript and HTML. Okay, guys, I use something called Whisper Flow. Okay, there are secure ways to use it. Do not use it on your mobile, but I can speak and I can still type it. Okay, so as I'm thinking myself as a fresher, somebody was fresh out of college, engineering college, and have learned some IT skills. If you're not from an IT background, you can change this kind of a prompt into something that is more relevant. Think about what you did in your college and type about it. Write a LinkedIn summary to highlight your profile. Uh, so I'm just writing a simple format and I'm going ahead with this. So look at that. It has created it has created three paragraphs as expected. Recent IT graduate with a strong foundation skills in Java, Node.js, Python, along with hands-on experience on JavaScript, HTML. I enjoy building practical solution. If you see, it is giving a three paragraphs, very very concise. All right. So any I would be happy to answer any questions. Screen not visible. Let me share again. I'll share my screen again. Is it visible now? I can see it on the stream. Okay. All right. So I have given my format and it look at the output that it has created. It has given me a very clear output. I asked for three paragraphs under 150 words in professional tone. It has given me a summary. Okay. But let's say you were not clear what you wanted to do in first shot. Okay. And you were you had to go through multiple steps to get into something. How do you use that? Let's look at an example that you have, like how everybody has used in the past. I'm starting a new chat. Let's create an email. Okay, write an cover letter email to Apple for a job in sales. Okay, I have not given a context. This is how most of us start. I have not given a context. What skills do I have? What is my background? Why I'm relevant for a job? Which location that is? Okay. And it has given me a very vague answer, which could work, which could not work. I I'm writing to express my interest in sales position at Apple. I have always admired a role in combination, and it's very generic. It is not very specific. Do you think this kind of a uh, email will get accepted if you're writing a cover letter to your job application? This is very generic. Okay, so most of the platforms, AI platforms, gives you an option of canvas. I can say show in canvas. Okay, so look at this. It has given me a canvas where I can just simply select something. I can say edit, and I can, okay, I think this has changed some canvas settings. Okay, this GPT is always confusing, and that is why I don't like it. Okay, let's look at this. Now I'll give my background. I have passed out in 2012 and about 14 years of experience. Okay, I have built in companies like Google, Amazon, and I led the entire sales B2B sales. Okay, I'm not typing, guys. If you know, I'm basically using my mic and it's translating. There's another AI tool called Whisper Flow. Okay, now I've given some background. Now it will correct the email. Okay, look at this, is correcting now. Okay, now it has become more generic. I'll give another prompt. This is for the position of VP of sales in Bangalore location. Okay, please do not follow the same steps, right? But I'm just covering that most of the people interact with LLM like this. They will start with something one short answer, then the answer does not come properly, and then you use give multiple instruction to fine tune an output. Let's say I'm okay with this output. Now I want to convert that into a system prompt, a prompt that I can use over again. Then I'll simply say convert convert this into system prompt where I can use this over and over again, and the output will be similar, and use RCCF format. Okay, now it has given me an RCCF format. See, role. You are an expert executive career coach and professional recruiter who specialize in writing up the impact cover letter emails to senior leadership role in technology. This is the context, and this is the command, and this is how the email is saying. Okay, and it has given me a very good. It has given me examples as well. So this is how it will write. It has given me the format. Now I can copy paste this and save it into a text file. Okay. And please, guys, when you're saving this or forwarding this email, please remove the commentary from ChatGPT pushes. Okay, the extra text GPT says that whatever it's saying, it's all called commentary. I'll share my screen. Where am I saving it? Okay, if you don't want ChatGPT to give any commentary, just say, "Give me the prompt, no commentary." Okay, so basically you're telling Chat GPT, hey, give me a direct answer to what I want, do not give commentary, because Chat GPT will always say, sure, I will help you if you want to do this, or it will be very contextual. So I can copy paste this, and I'll share my screen again, and I'm saving into a I'll share my screen into a different screen now. And I save it in a file like this, and the format that I use to save this is called Markdown. We'll cover what is a Markdown. You need to learn Markdown because if you would like to give different sections like a rich text document, that how you make your presentation document, user manuals, assignments in your school, right? You need to learn Markdown. It's a plain text format that AI understands very easily. We'll cover that next. So I saved this file as Markdown. This is an extension that saved as Markdown. So I'll say prompt dot markdown, and I'll share my GPT screen again, and we'll see that if I upload, how does it look? Okay. All right. Let's me share my GPT screen again. Let me open a new tab, and I'm sharing my screen again. Okay, it is visible. So I'm just gonna paste my Markdown file here, which I created. I think I saved it in a folder. Okay, next time I do not need to type. If I have saved my prompt, okay, and a prompt that I had to fine tune by doing multiple steps. I started with saying create a cover letter, then I refined my position, then I refined my experience, then I refined my designation, then I refined the designation that I was applying for. I had given multiple steps. This is how most of people use Chat GPT or Claude today. Whatever output that you're okay with, you convert that as into a system prompt into an RCCA format. And if I paste this, next time it will read the document, it will create a very, very clear output. Okay, it's giving me this. Okay, now, so this is where Chat GPT hallucinates. Okay, now make a cover letter. Look at this. It is very, very similar to what we were convinced with, and it has given me a very simple output that I wanted. It is the Google, Amazon, whatever I had mentioned, it is now part of an email. So it saves a lot of work. If this was helpful, drop a boom in chat. Please type boom if you like this thing of doing automation and using prompt. This is a simple technique we learned about writing a simple prompt in a structured way that LLMs will understand over and over again. So you can save your prompt, you can do the repeated task over and over again. If you're working for an assignment, school assignment, you can say, hey, I will be giving you a lot of documents. You create a question paper for me for practice. You can do that. If you're applying for a job, you can upload a lot of your past question paper, sorry, your past question papers. You can create documents. If you're creating a sales pitch, if you're writing emails, you can give client context. You will be able to make it using a system prompt. Right now, we'll cover a small thing about Markdown documents, and we'll see that how the Markdown documents are created, so that you will be able to create your own prompts. Usually, in AI world, people create large prompts. They spend about hours and hours to perfect their prompt to give one task, and then they upload a prompt and their task is done. Okay, so I'll start sharing my screen again. All right, it is visible. Okay, so this is a markdown format. It is a very lightweight markup language. So basically, you're writing a plain text document. Let's say you don't have any software, you don't have MS Word, you do not have an online editor, you're not using Google Docs, but you want to create a rich text document, you can use Markdown format, where you will be structurally able to give a very rich document with sections, with tables, with boards, italics, headlines to AI. Okay. So this is basically few formats. So heading 1 to 6 use hash, heading 2 use hash hash, heading 3 use triple hash, and so on till 6 headers are there. For bold, you start with double asterisks, then you give bold text and then double asterisks. Some examples, if you see here, so this is an example header. It shows this is a bold statement, and then you can create your list items, and you can create your block quotes as well. So let's create one markdown document, just so everybody understands. This is extremely important that you know markdown document. Otherwise, when you're giving really large instruction to LLMs, they get confused. This is a very easy and structured way to use that, and with using the formats that we have discussed, RCCF and many other techniques that we learn. You can read about it when I share the document. It has a lot of websites and prompting techniques in detail. Meta prompting, one shot prompt, chain of thought prompt. There is plenty of prompting techniques that are available, which you can learn to get the work and output from all the LLMs in a very structured format. Okay, so let's create one quick rich text document. So for now, I'm just gonna share Stack Edit. Okay, this is a simple text editor where you can simply create a rich text document so that you understand that how AI or will read Markdown documents. Is a good preview of Markdown Viewer. You can download Markdown Viewer in your local machines as well. It is available. Most of the editors are free. If you are a coder, you can use Visual Studio Code and press Control Shift V to see the preview of Markdown document. And this is a public tool that you can use. If you're new to AI, you do not know what all tools you need to download and where to start, you will not know. Okay. So let's start with something. Okay, let's start. Not visible. It's showing on my screen. It's a white screen. I have not typed on a white screen. Do you see a white screen, guys? Okay. So probably YouTube stream is not a great tool. We'll avoid YouTube stream next time. We'll probably go ahead with Zoom. Okay. If you see the white screen, please say yes on the comments. Okay. All right. If you see, there are a bunch of tools available here, so that if you do not know the syntax, you will be able to see it here. Let's say if I'm typing hash title of the page, let's start. Do you see what's happening on the right side when I'm saying hash title? Do you see what's happening on the right side? Okay. Do you see this? Right? But actually, what I'm typing hashes, I'm typing dashes, I'm typing numbering, right? So at least if you know hash, and if you know basically this dash and numbered, that's good enough for anybody to start. This is numbered list. Okay, do you see it's creating a number list? This is called Stack Edit. I'll paste the link in the chat now. It's called Stack Edit. This is a free tool. You can use it online. I've added the group in. I've added the chat in the. Added the link in the chat. Sorry, pardon my language. All right, I'll be sharing this on the group as well. If you're not part of the community, please join the community. The link will be shared. All right. So this is basically the way most people are using LLMs. They are using chatting. Now you have become 10x more powerful of using your LLM by doing right prompt engineering. You can get the work done in one shot, not getting frustrated multiple times, right? But you need to think what context you need to give. But if you are doing something that you need to do multiple times, you can get started on a chat whenever you're convinced with an output, convert into a system prompt, save that markdown file, next time paste that markdown file and ask for output. Some LLMs, when you paste the file, it will directly give you the output. On ChatGPT, you will still say, hey, this is the prompt, this is a system prompt, give me the output. Okay. All right, so this brings us to the first part. And if you have not joined my channel, please subscribe to my channel. The channel where you're live on, please subscribe. I would really appreciate that, and that will give me motivation to create more content. Right now I'm not in a professional setup, but with your all support, I'll have a professional setup. We'll do this more often, and we'll create a lot more content. All right, if you have subscribed, please let me know. I'll just give it another minute because I'm doing for subscription, I'm not doing for money. Please subscribe, guys. Please drop a yes if you have subscribed. All right. Thanks for all the support, guys. All right, let's move on to second step, which is automation. So we'll learn some of the basic tools. This is also something a lot of people are using, but this is also we will structure a bit more how to use the automations in a right way or which tool to use for when. Okay, we'll start with understanding what is an automation. Okay, you set it once and the work gets done over and over again. There are autonomous actions can happen. For example, whenever new email comes, summarize that email and draft a reply. Somebody fills a Google form, AI generates a report automatically. Every morning 8 a.m., give me a brief of what has happened in the last day. Right? AI submits an assignment and you give a feedback instantly. So this is a lot of automation. But you also need to understand that automations are deterministic in nature. The output has to be very, very specific. If it is deterministic, very deterministic, if it's a rule based, if X happens, do Y without using the data. If the data is coming structure, you have to understand the data. Let's say your input data is always going to be an Excel file, and output is going to be an Excel file, then you do not need AI for it. However, the automation platforms that are mentioned here, Anit and Google Apps Script Make will still and Zapier will still be able to do that. Anit N is self-hosted available as well. So if you are bit techy, you will be able to host N8N on your local machine on your servers, and you can use it for free. It has AI layers as well. You will be able to build agents on top of that. Okay, so we'll use some of the tools that are pre-built. It is structurally building uh, and using the tools. Okay, and a lot of people are asking that how do I know which tool to use when, which LLM to use when. right? How many of you have the similar question? Okay, plenty of people are confused which tool to use when. Okay, and we have most of the people using Chat GPT. All right. Okay. So imagine an LLM, right? I'm using the word LLM because I don't want to call them agent yet, because there is a starking difference between an LLM and agent. After using this automation, we'll jump on to building your first agent, and that's when you will know what is the difference between an LLM and an agent. Okay. Now, most of the LLM tools that you use today are, they did not have any hands. Okay. Today ChatGPT can do search. Today Claude can do hundreds of things, right? And it was meant for a specific purpose. So ChatGPT was trained on a lot of generic data. Gemini was trained on a lot of search data. Copilot was launched a lot of, trained on a lot of Microsoft data. So imagine when you are working in an organization or when you are a student at your school, each student, each employee, each colleague is a different. Similarly, each LLM, each platform is different. And some people are specialized in one particular tasks, so people are launching very niche focused specialized platforms, and these platforms you need to learn. Okay, and these are very very intuitive platform. It will be not very hard to use these platform. We're going to cover only two today, okay, in interest of time, because this is a 2 hour session, and we want to spend more time on agents rather than focusing a lot on something people are using. We have learned structural way of using chat gpt and llms today. Now we'll learn two more tools, and we'll show you some of the examples at how to use it structurally and when to use this tool for. Okay, if you have a very specific use case, right now chat gpt is becoming obsolete very fast in the market. Claude is launching its marketplace tools library and a lot of skills. We'll cover what are skills and tools that will open up differentiating that when to use what. But if you're not on Claude, you're missing out a big chunk. Please don't shy away to spend $20. It's 2,000 rupees, but the productivity can be 20x. Okay, I'm personally, this is not a sponsored session, but I personally like Claude because of the vast range of tools that are available, and people are publishing skills everywhere. Okay, so we'll cover skills, some of the tools today. So, Notebook LLM, I'll share a very small case study that I have built, and this is the link if you're not using LM. Sorry. All right, is it visible to you? It's actually slow. I have moved on to a different screen. It's still showing different. Okay, it's coming up. Okay, I think it's opening up in a different tab. Apologies. All right. So Notebook LLM, if you see something, this is a simple LLM that I've created. Okay. You can try it out. Just go ahead and create a simple notebook and upload any document about any topic that you have. You do not need to do anything else. Okay. It's simply uploading a document into one notebook. What you see on my screen is a notebook that I have created for my daughter to train her on German. and I have uploaded all the document that she have. I click pictures, I downloaded the document and uploaded on to Notebook LLM. And it has created, I have not given the title, I have not done anything on it, and I can generate different type of outputs from it. I can create an audio overview. So she can learn from audio and it understands that it's a German lesson for an English speaking student. It can create a slide deck, it can create a video overview, it can create a mind map. And I just created a mind map. We'll create some more output. Okay. Look at it's an interactive map. So this is really, really good for the students. It's a-
Whoa, did some
Okay. Is it visible? Okay. So look at the mind map, and I have not done anything. I have just uploaded document and asked it to create a mind map. Okay, a lot of it will not make sense to most of the guys. Will try to create another mind map, and look at this. It has created vocabulary, grammar, communication. It has automatically segmented that what do you want to learn. This becomes a cheat sheet. I can just expand this mind map and give it to my daughter, and she'll know what the lesson is about. So whenever you have a lot of context, if it's for a public research, you want to create PPTs out of it, explainer videos out of it, mind maps out of it, you use Notebook LM. All right, let's try to create a notebook, a simple notebook. I'll create a blank notebook. Okay, sharing my screen again. Okay, so this is how a notebook screen looks. Okay, if you are doing any research, any assignment, any PPT, or you have multiple thoughts about something that you're researching on, just put it into a notebook LM. It can become an interactive chatbot about your topic. You can create different outputs, audio overview, slide decks, video overview, mind map, reports, flashcards, quiz, infographic, bunch of other stuff. So let's take a vote that, what do you want to, not visible again. I can see it on the live stream. Is it visible now? Okay, thank you. All right, so this is how the blank notebook LM looks like. Okay, and we're just after this we'll use Google Gemini for creating a website, and then we'll dive into building your first AI agent. Okay, now this is how blank notebook looks like. Give me a topic that you want to research on. Any topic. Israel war, Israel Iran war. If anybody is comfortable, I'll not use the word. No, let's do something else. Sorry, it's a YouTube. Will cannot use the words. UI automation. Let's take something more generic, because I have students, I have people from sales background, I have even older people joining us, so that I'm aware. So anything that's very basic, let's say latest update on news, something similar. Cryptocurrency. That's an interesting topic. Who do want to learn about cryptocurrency? Okay. Let's use some positive topic, Krishna. LPG, I mean, sensitive today. Stock portfolio will lies with when we will do agent. Let's create a notebook, something where the output is defined. Guys, we are doing automations. Again, please understand. We're doing automation. Okay, evolution of modern AI. Okay. So this is how I usually do. I have no idea about it. Let's say I'll go ahead and have absolutely no idea. This is what I do. I go to Gemini. Okay, for anything related to internet search, let me know if it's visible. Gemini, is it visible? Okay, thank you. Because today we are having a lot of issues with visibility. Okay, create a research document about modern AI and its effect expected on jobs by 2030. Provide all links as sources. Okay. Why I'm asking for source? Because Notebook LM requires sources and it will crawl and learn from all those sources. And it has given me a very good document. A lot of McKinsey research, Gartner research. Okay. Post 2025, I say. Make it more recent. See, guys, this is what happens when you're doing a one shot prompting and you're not giving explaining. It's saying to after 2020. Things have changed a lot in last 3 to 4 months when you know how the AI is evolved. 2020 is not relevant to me. Okay, I'll copy paste this, and now I go to my notebook LM and I simply paste these links. I'm copying again on the other screen. Okay, so I pasted with links and I just pasted. Now look at this, what it is doing. It is researching websites. It is already going into the documents and the sources, and see it has given me a lot of reports. And I'll say import all of this into my notebook. And I have not given the title. I have not given anything. Let's see what it does. And then we'll generate some kind of output that is usable. This is a primarily a research tool, or when you want your documents to be organized, when you have a lot of ideas that are unorganized, you use Notebook LM, right? A lot of you might be using it already, but to learn, build an agent, you need to understand the step by step process. We learned chatting properly. Now we're learning when to use what tool, and then we'll build agents. While it's loading, because it's going to take time, there are many of the links. I would want to understand how many you have paid subscriptions of Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini. Does anyone have paid subscriptions? Beam has one. Ananya, Sonal. Okay, a lot of people have it. Claude and GPT. Okay, Gemini. Yep. Okay. All right. Usually it does. Now I say I can chat with it. What do you think? What would happen to the jobs by 2028? I can chat with all the research. Okay, I can ask questions because I did not have time to read all of this document. I was reading a lot of documents. It's going through all the documents. High structure churn and economy reconfigures around artificial intelligence and green transition. Rather than mass job loss, the source project that the era will be definitely a partnership between AI agents and robots with new job creations, right? So, guys, if you see, the most of the research scientists are saying that the current job market will get disrupted, but there are new jobs that are going to appear. So that is why AI is really important. Okay, now let's create some sort of a video. Let's create a mind map out of it. Okay, it's reading all the 10 sources. And I started with generating something. It's usually name the document, but it does not name the document. Probably because I did not give any description to begin with. I just simply pasted my docs. Okay, look at this mind map. Global economy data trends. Data and analytics 2026. AI impact. Workforce strategy. 75% of hiring to include AI testing by 2027. Productivity tools. Gen AI agentic market shake a $58 billion impact. Physical data. AI agent to generate 10x more environmental data. Native startups $1 billion valuation via extreme capital efficiency. Okay, do you see this? You can be a billionaire if you learn the AI really well, and you can chat with it again, right? If you're, I have think given very research-based documents, it has been very detailed, but that is automatically created. Okay. Now, if I go back, I can, if you have a paid model on LLM, you can create podcast and you can interrupt as well. You can create audio overview so you can listen to it, how the job market looks like. You don't have time, you can simply just create an audio overview. Let's create a video overview before we jump onto this, and I'll say very classic custom. Okay, let's use, is it visible, the pop-up? Yeah. Okay, let's create an animated one. The video will take time. Okay, and I can keep on adding to the document. That does not mean that the it's over. You can keep on adding a document. Let's create some audio overview. I'll have to share my screen again with audio. Let's create a data table. And you can regenerate when you add documents. Okay, while it's generating, we'll also talk about Google Gemini. How many of you know what is Gemini Canvas? Do you know what is Gemini Canvas? Does anyone of you know Gemini Canvas? I see some less interaction there. Look at that. Economic value unlocked by AI powered agents and robot is $2.9 trillion. Guys, so look at this. It's gonna impact. It's new opportunities getting unlocked. It's an era of opportunity. It's a gold rush. Please do not shy away to learn AI. It's not gonna be your enemy. It's gonna be probably your best friend. Okay. Okay, so some outputs are generated. Any questions? You have any questions? Please post questions. Does anybody was there anybody who did not know how to use Notebook LM? Anyone? Everyone knew how to use. Okay, there are few people. Did you guys learn something new today on Notebook LM? A different way where you just upload your documents and generate an output? Thank you, Rahul. All right, let's see who's interacting the most. Okay, wow. Tushar is interacting the most today. Then Krishna. Wow, guys, it's a good interaction that's happening. Sanket, Amit, 41 Anand. Thanks for all the love, guys. Thanks, I'm loving it. All right, so we'll jump on to building a simple website. Okay, you guys, if you are semi-technical, if you're building websites, if you do not, if you know how to host websites, but you just don't know how to build it, or you have team that can support for it. People are not doing lovable or emergent now for building websites. Google Gemini can do that using Gemini Canvas. We'll show you that now. No, that's the so okay. So it's a very good question by TJ Wanderer. He's asking, does the prompt engineering approach differ from different model? Most of the large language model, if it is getting updated properly, will be able to give you very similar outputs. Uh, and it depends on what tools does it have, because if the tools are not right, LLMs will go by the latest knowledge they have. Okay, we'll cover a bit more on agents, why some LLM differ. Some agents get trained by a cutoff date. You can ask all the models what is your cutoff date, and it will tell you what is their cutoff date. The cutoff date is essentially the date till which the model has learned. Okay, and it is very very intensive. Chat GPT first Chat GPT 3 model that was launched, GPT 3.0, that took about $1 billion to train. Okay, so it's very very expensive to train the models. That is why they evolved with agents, so agentic tools. Okay, now if you search something on Chat GPT, if it doesn't have an answer, it goes and search on the internet. That is called tools. So if your research, if your output is very very structured, and if it's about text, most of the LLM will give the similar response. But if your input and output requires different type of tools, each LLM will have very different responses because the kind of tools they have access to. uh, Claude get blocked on a lot of websites. So Claude can manipulate your browser, and it can actually go on the website, can do stuff, versus Chat GPT can crawl your websites. So crawling can have an old data or a cache data, versus Claude's result will be better in that case. But it will be slow because Claude will use a lot of tokens. It will take screenshots. It will read the content in your browser. It will take a lot of time, but it will be more accurate. But if you're want a fast response, that doesn't matter if it's cached, then you can go with ChatGPT. But usually the output is very very similar, considering that you're using large language model. If you're using a small language model which is hosted locally, some people will understand this. There are a few models that can be hosted locally, then the output will differ between the models. It's like telling a similar instruction to an intern versus a similar instruction giving to very senior guy. But let's say if your instructions are clear enough, then no matter whom do you give to, probably the slow models will take a lot more time, but they'll be able to do it nonetheless. So that's a great question. Thanks, TJ Wonder. Any other question, guys, before we start on Gemini? All right, let's move on to Gemini. I'll start a new chat and sharing my screen. All right, because of the stream lag, I have to keep on checking. Is it visible to you, everyone? Is it visible now? All right. So if you see, there is something called tool here. Okay, you can create music. I have not personally tried it. I still use different platforms. I have not used creating music on Google Gemini, but Canvas is something I really like. Okay, you choose the tool called Canvas, and then let's try to create a website. Okay, and use the RCCA format only, but I'll probably not structure in a markdown. You're an expert UI UX developer. You are building a website for a homemaker who sells cold pressed oils, fresh oils. You have to build an HTML one page document where people can also fill a form and raise an inquiry and can place an order as well. Order does not need a payment gateway, it just takes an order and sends it to an email. The website looks very homely. Create a branding, let's say Ghar Ki Ghani, something like that. And the format I need is the HTML CSS document, HTML CSS file, and a single page. Okay. Now, guys, this is a very basic, and these kind of websites are very similar. So I'm not using a very RCCF format, but if you see that I have given a very similar structure. Let's see what it happened. Okay, look at this. This is all writing the code. I'm not doing anything. It's writing code. My hands are here. It's writing, and it has literally picked up the name that I given, Ghar Ki Ghani, cold press oils, and is writing all the code. I'm not doing anything. Okay, let's see what it creates. And it's a single page website that I've asked. Look at that. Did you like it? If yes, drop a boom into the chat. Did you know that you could create a website just like that? Did you know Google Gemini could do that? All right, in the fans we have some twist. Amit Anand coming on top, Kunat Singh on second, Gaurav Khurana at number three. Thanks for all the love, people who are interacting. All right, so look at that. Now you can start your website. If you have a business idea, simply go to Google Gemini. You can create your website. You can simply download this code and simply ask your team to host it somewhere, right? But if you do not know something about hosting, still I would recommend using tools like Emergent and Lovable because they provide hosting services. But if you know, or if you had run a website in the past, or you are interacting with the teams, do this rather than you know going on the tools like Emergent because they ties you up. It is easy to interact with here, and I've and if you see, I can sorry, I think I started something and I stopped it. Let me continue. Okay, so I can ask questions around AI onto the page that how you did this, how you did that by using the tool in the bottom right here, and it is adding an AI kitchen assistant into it because I think that's what they want, and that is why they're doing. Google Gemini is doing all of this. Let me take the old output just to. Okay, I've just loaded the old output, guys. I just went on scrolled onto the chat, and I clicked onto the old icon and it created. Look at that. I asked for recipe generator. It has created an AI assistant here itself. Okay, get the recipe idea. Look at that. It has added an AI assistant into it. Imagine having this onto your website. Right? Of course, you'll have to have Google API key to be connected to this. But Google APIs, if you're using uh, in limits, Google APIs are free. you can embed them into your chat for free. There is no charge if you are using it wisely. But if you are using in a very professional capacity where the load is really high, you will have to take paid plans from Google. And look at that, it has given me again a markdown document. So probably I will need to instruct this to create a markdown document here. So if I say I'm asking a question, why are you showing this in markdown? And it basically tags it. And if I can say, okay, solve my question, it will solve for all of it. But sometimes this stucks because I think they are also in beta. But you could ask questions. Now it's gone here. It took some time. Now it'll fix it. So you can ask questions and you can fix onto your website, hey, I don't like the orange color. I want it to be more green tone. All of that you can do it on the canvas. Okay. One canvas I was trying to show on Chat GPT that didn't work well. Chat GPT also has canvas where you could do this same thing that I've done, that you can ask questions on the canvas so that you don't have to give the entire context. Ghar Ki Ghani, it's an amazing name. I just picked up. Look at that. Now it's a readable document. But did you notice that it created Markdown document? All AI outputs are in Markdown documents, and usually all AI agents show Markdown viewer so that you see it as rich text. Roshan has asked, does it mean front-end engineering roles will disappear? To some extent, yes. But there are a lot more AI techniques that are coming in. Let's say the brand guidelines has to be followed. The skills exist, but it will still require a lot of imagination. But let's say in the companies, if there are 14 to 15 people working on, let's say, only front end, they will shrink probably to 3 to 4 now. And that's for all the roles, but a lot more new roles will come. Somnath is saying Hostinger has also a good platform to host website, and it provides domain and platform. Yeah, that's great. So if you have experience on using some tools like Hostinger or some any other hosting tools, I would recommend build your own websites like this. If you see, the community name is called Plactic, so I'm launching a Plactic as a website, which will have collection of a lot of skills, a lot of tools, a lot of how to's where you can interact, and we'll have a lot of AI agents for you to help learning AI on your job. It'll be launched in less than a week because I am not going to code, my AI will. All right, so that brings us to the main topic of the day, which is AI agents. How many of you are having some fun and learning something new on AI today? Right? Gaurav Khurana, who's interacting the most now, has become number one. Kunal Singh, number three. Somnath Bhattacharya, number four. Thank you for all the love, guys. All right, so now we'll talk about a very interesting topic and we'll do case studies of building some uh, AI agents using Claude. Okay. Now, first thing is a difference between an LLM and agent. And this is extremely, extremely important to learn what is an AI agent before you can start building an agent. And we'll keep it a little more interactive. So please, guys, respond quickly because I can tell you if you interact, your mind will open to understand AI agents just like this. If you're just listening, you'll probably lose out on the context. Okay. An LLM is just a large language model. It's just the brain. It is trained till a particular cutoff date. It has no power. When we started Chat GPT, everybody started using Chat GPT. If you ask a question, generate a code, find me this answer, if it is relevant, was Chat GPT able to do that? Guys, I said please be interactive on this, you lose out on context. Few months ago, almost a year ago, was Chat GPT able to answer your all of your questions which are of current affairs or current date? Was it able to do that? It was not able to do that. Today, can it do that? Is Chat GPT and Claude LLM or agent? Today it can. So what has changed? What has changed? A lot of people are saying today Chat GPT can answer a lot of questions. What has changed? Chat GPT can do search on internet. It says I'm searching on internet. Now this searching of internet is like hands of Chat GPT, which is called tools. Okay. So an agent is a combination of LLM tools and skills. I'll cover. It's a similar concept, but of course tools are to get an information, skill is to do a very specific task in a certain way, and a memory. We saw canvas as a tool on Gemini. We saw, okay, let me share Chat GPT again. A lot of people are saying it's an LLM. Let's see. Okay, add photo or a file, thinking, deep research, shopping research, web search, study and learn, canvas, quiz. It has a lot of tools. Now, is it an agent or is it an LLM now? Again, black screen. Is it visible now? The votes are changing now. Okay. Can a human work without hands or any limbs or not even eyes, not even anything? Can a human still be alive if the only it's a mind? It needs a body, right? Don't go on a technical question. Yeah, there are people who does not have limbs, but practically to be called a human, you brain alone cannot work. So LLM is just the brain. Okay, if you give them hands, then it becomes an agent, and if it can remember what you do, you can train it as well. So imagine you have a digital employee in your organization where you are giving it an instruction about your company, about your work. The people get trained. Why? Because they have memories. They get exposed to a lot of tools, probably how to raise ticket in your organization, or how to which teacher to approach, how to which internal web portals to use in a school or a college. So you get access to a lot of tools, and you become much smarter, isn't it? So still there is a heavy shift on LLM. Is Chat GPT an LLM or an agent? And I'm talking about not GPT model. I'm talking about Chat GPT. Is it an agent or is it an LLM? Type in, guys. I think the vote has, people did not know LLM earlier, and the votes have shifted towards LLM. So is Chat GPT an agent or an LLM? Just type in. Thank you. Now people are understanding it's an agent. Okay. Now the more tools a platform will have access to, it more smarter it will be. Okay. So if you see my screen, it can create image, it can think, and it has tools like web search, study and learn, canvas, and quizzes. Okay. And Chat GPT and AI Studio of Chat GPT are completely different tool. For AI Studio you need a paid subscription, but Claude works in a similar way. I'll share my screen on Claude, and let's see how many tools we have access to. Can you see my screen? Is my screen visible now? Okay, do you see the connectors? I have connected Zomato, Gmail, Canva, Google Drive. Now, what's Zomato doing here? Does anybody know why Zomato is here? Why Zomato is a tool? Does anybody understand why Zomato was there? What is Zomato doing here? Hmm, interesting. What is Zomato doing here? Anybody? Any guesses? Okay. Maybe to understand and gather data about the food items. Yes, it can. I can ask it to order for me, Sanket. Okay. Now we'll talk about the theory again, so that this is why I wanted to be a little more curious, and that is one reason why Zomato exists here is because Zomato is offering MCP. What is an MCP? Let me share my screen again. Is my screen visible? Is my screen visible? I can see it on the stream. Okay, thanks for confirming. All right. So an agent is essentially a brain with hands and skills. The hands that most of the agents have, and that is why Claude is becoming more powerful, not only because of its superiority of the LLM, but also the library of the tools that it has. Okay. It has vast variety of tools and you can connect your custom tools. Now, the most common tools that you would see on the internet is called MCP. Okay, MCP, Model Context Protocol. It's basically a catalog of whatever your AI, whatever actions you want AI to perform. It could be an API call. It could be running some script onto your machine. It could be going on a browser. It could be doing a web search. It could be creating an image. Claude can generate PPT, but it has a skill to do that. It has a tool to browse a PPT, but it has a skill to create a PPT. Now, what is skill? Before we jump on to differentiating between tools and skill, are you understanding what are tools? Okay, so tools are essentially hands. Okay, now the most common tool that people are building, and you can search about it, is called Model Context Protocol. Now, every company, whosoever does not want to expose their API, they are exposing their MCP servers. MCP is a way to catalog to only AI could interact with this, and it is much safer, and it's a catalog of every action that one can do. So Zomato was there because Zomato has launched an MCP. MCPs are available for design libraries. You can build your websites based on a particular design pattern. Okay, there is public MCPs. Zerodha, Kite MCP is launched. Grow, Grow MCP is launched. So you can connect your MCP servers, and then you can authenticate with your profile, and you will be able to get all the insights of your portfolio from Grow or Zerodha into your LLM, and it can generate reports for you. You can assess how my market, where am I placed, what is my risk profile, bunch of other technical stuff that you can ask about it, which you will not have access into Zerodha or Grow. You're understanding the difference, what is MCP? Okay, let's try to create an agent now. I will create a nutritionist agent that orders for you from Zomato. Okay, so let's create an MCP. Let me share my screen and let me search Zomato MCP, and I'm sharing my screen on this. Okay, if you can see, Zomato MCP server is available. So Zomato has publicly, yes, it's governed by Zomato, but it is only for personal use. It's not available for building a smart application. But let's say you create a skill and you can talk about it. Probably Zomato would like it and absorb you in their organization, but that's about it. But these tools are governed by Zomato, because to call all the Zomato's APIs, the information has to be public. So of course it cannot be built by some third party. But anything that has public APIs and does not have MCPs, you can create your MCPs and publish for everyone to use. Okay. Now, for people who are non-technical, do you know what is an API? Okay. So I'll just take a minute to talk about what is an API. So when a human wants to interact with a machine, they use websites. When a machine wants to interact with other machine, they use APIs. So if I want, so all Zomato app that you use or Swiggy app that you use is interacting with Zomato or Swiggy APIs today, because your computer machine is interacting with Zomato machine, right? Whatever action you are taking, it's interacting with Zomato machine and giving you a desired output. So they are interacting over APIs. Now APIs can be really, really large. It does not know what is the action, versus an MCP is an intelligent catalog. You can club four actions. So let's say book take my order. Taking an order itself means four steps. Take an show the menu, note down the item and the quantity, show the bill, and then take an order. Right. So whatever multiple context and multiple steps have happened, calling them all at once into one function call is what an MCP would do. It can, and you do not need to tell when to call that API. That's the beauty of using MCP servers. You will describe an action and an description of an action, and AI will take its own action. Okay, so let's try to understand building a first AI agent. Let's do one case study. The case study that we're doing is we'll create a skill. What is a skill? So skill is essentially doing a task in a particular order in a particular format. The master prompt that we generated was only for doing something within an LLM ecosystem, versus a skill could run scripts, could call your MCP, could call your tools, and or structure an output. Okay, so we'll do create a skill now on Claude and create a skill that orders from Zomato. So I'll just walk through the steps quickly, and I'll not add Zomato because when so when I add Zomato, it'll ask for my user credentials, which I don't want to cover on YouTube. So this is the URL. It says go on to Claude, requires Claude subscription, open Claude, go to settings, connector, add a custom connector, and add this URL, and then restart Claude. If you're web, you do not need to restart, but if you're running locally, then you will need to restart your Claude. Okay, let's go to Claude now. Is Claude visible here? Is Claude visible? Yes, no. Is it visible? Not visible. Okay, it is visible. Okay, so I go here, I click customize, and I go to connectors, and I will create Zomato. If you see, I have connected my Canva, my Gmail, so it can actually read my emails and do a lot of automation as well. And I've connected my Google Drive, so it can save documents that I'm researching onto my Google Drive, and a Zomato, which is a custom connector where I added the URL. But look at the list of the tools does it have. Small actions that it can do: bind user number, verify code, check out cart, create cart, get order offer. So these are basically function which does something at Zomato, and its description or the name is so descriptive that AI can take an action. Okay, so the way it works is you create, add custom connector, the name I'm calling is Zomato. Okay, I'm just misspelling and the URL that it has given, and then I simply say add, then it will say to connect with you. You will have to log in with your Zomato ID. I've already done that. Now let's create a skill. Okay, I'll just delete a skill because I'm gonna, okay, we will create this skill because I was trying out before the session. Okay, now customize, you go and create a skill. You click on create a skill, create with Claude. So the advantage of creating with Claude is you will not have to write your large markdown files. You can simply talk about what you want and it will structure it for you. It will structure in a format that it can understand later. It will create its own markdown document. So let's create what it does. Let's create a skill together for your skill creator skill. So skill creator is also a skill. Okay, it's saying reading the skill creator skill, and now it will ask me for what will skill do. Okay, do you have, and it's just giving me some examples. Okay, this skill, you act as a nutritionist, be very strict nutritionist. You are helping Gaurav, who's 40-year-old and who's reducing his weight and H1BAC. The diet has to be done very properly. You will not let him have a cheat day, and you will order from Zomato for every need whenever user says. I prefer North Indian food and a South Indian breakfast. I like some dishes from Kolkata, a lot of rolls. I like pav bhaji from West. These are my some preferences. I eat non-veg, and you will ask me my mood before you start searching on Zomato. Okay, I have all typed it. So guys, you can type it. I mean, I prefer uh, doing an AI based typing. Okay, so it is not understood few things. If you see H1BSC, okay, it will now create a skill. Any visible, any question so far? Let's see. See, now it says, do you have hypertension? No, I meant H1BAC. I don't know what is it called. I'm just giving a hypothetical number. Okay. Now saying, what is your weight loss context? See, it's all asking all my questions. Okay. It's not created a skill. A skill is something that I can reuse later. So I can say, calorie deficit. I prefer 5 meals. I disconnected H1BS, HbA1c. Sorry, my bad. Glad that I do not know about this. Okay, we'll fine tune a skill because we have not said hey, always show the calorie, calculate the calories on the content. But you can forget about it because the nutritionist is already doing it. Okay, and imagine if you could add your reports into the memory of chat, then what power it has. It will not let you eat fried food if you have high cholesterol. If you have high glycemic food, it will not let you consume if your HbA1c is really high. Okay, it's creating a skill now. Again, I'm using this skill to be created by itself, and when you're using locally, you can keep the skill in your local directory. You can use it on Claude.ai website as well. Look at the document it has created. Act as a no nonsense clinical nutritionist managing a patient with elevated HbA1c who is structured on weight loss. I have not given this context. What should I order? I am hungry, cheat days, Zomato. It says for every single meal, no cooking assumption, no skipping, never allow cheat days under any circumstances. Look at that, how it's created a very interesting document. Okay. And it says connect to Zomato MCP somewhere. I saw ask about mood, and then it says these are the options. Search using Zomato MCP, present the order, all of that. Okay. And it is also given Zomato MCP is which function to call. Okay. Always show the calories as well so that human also knows what he's eating. Okay, I'm still updating the skill. I noticed that I have not given this instruction. All right, it has updated. Okay, I usually review this, but in interest of time, I'm not going to do that. But we have at least got an idea that how it's planning. See, it has also planned that breakfast is 350, snack one is 150, lunch 500, snack to 150, dinner 450. Okay, I copy to my skills. It's called strict nutritionist. Okay, let's start a new chat now. Once I've added the skill, every time this skill will be used in any of the agents that I'm using, any agents. Okay, uh, an agent will have a specific scope doing certain tasks, but a skill can be used across multiple agents unless you restrict a scope to a particular agent, but it can go in any conversation. Okay, let's start a new chat. I am hungry. I don't want to, want to eat outside. Okay. Look at the context that will say thinking about dining options, reading strict nutritionist skills. So it is calling the skill now. It skills get automatically invoked. So you're building your first agent. Now the agent has a skill and it has a Zomato MCP as well. It says, good, hunger is manageable. Let's do the right way. Before I pull up Zomato, find the search that actually works. What is your mood? Stressed, tired, happy, craving something specific? I'll say Okay, craving sweet. Okay, I'm just teasing this because I said you are strict. Let's see what it does. Gaurav, I'm going to stop you right there. It's a strict agent. Okay, it says, okay, you have this. Before I search Zomato, one quick question. Look at how quickly it's asking. Are you asking for breakfast? Are you asking for morning snack, lunch, evening snack? Okay, I'll say breakfast. And I've not trained this. I've added once in a skill and I can use this over and over again. Okay, I'll find you South Indian breakfast, idli or upma, because I've said that I like South Indian breakfast and North Indian food in general. And it is now will call Zomato. And it has asked me my location when I was look at how the steps Zomato is running. And look at the how AI is talking to itself. Good results. That's comfortable. It's giving question and answer itself. It's talking to Zomato. And look at that. It has given me an option. And it also say flat 60 rupees off. Shall I place this order? Sri Annapurna Grand, Idli, calorie 320, Y, soft, price, and it says current meal, you are under 320. It's giving me showing total target that is left. Is your mind blown? This is the very first agent we built. Is your mind blown? Now, everybody who wants AI agents to be interacting are talking on are building their MCP servers. You can connect your MCP servers and you can build your own skills, right? So let's say if you are using some reporting engine, Tableau, if Tableau offers MCP server, you will be able to connect your Tableau server and ask any question about the reporting. If you are uh, buying from Amazon, if Amazon launches their MCP server, you will be able to do a lot of AI search like this. So interacting with an external system, you would need always need MCP servers or the public APIs. Better is MCP server. Okay. Now let's say Gmail has given MCP servers and an API. So if you're on Gmail, you can automate bunch of stuff. As soon as email comes, summarize, add tasks, send it to me, send me on my WhatsApp. Now people may be asking, how do I connect my WhatsApp? I use something called Clawbot that I'll cover in an advanced session, but this is a hands-on session building your first AI agent. If you're loving, we'll do one more agent. Can I have some energy before we do one more agent and wrap the session? And I have not coded anything. And it's interacting with Zomato, it's interacting with, it's working as nutritionist, and it's very, very useful. Okay, I'll give a shout out again to the fans. Topmost Krishna Kant, second number Amit Anand, Kunal Singh number three, Gaurav Khurana number four, Abhishek 12134 number five, Sonal Sahu six, Tushar seven, Puneet Khurana number eight. Thank you guys. You've been a great audience. All right, let's do one more. How many of you would like to build an agent that does job search and write cover letters as per the JD? I'll not cover an end to end which can do an application as well, can apply on your behalf because I know that my team members are also here. But how many of you would like to learn customizing your letters, cover letters for a LinkedIn job post? All right. Please be part of the community. In community, we'll also cover an end-to-end uh, LinkedIn job application. So an agent who which finds the job for you, match the profile, finds the person to which to send an email to, write a custom letter, attach your resume, customize your resume, and send it to it. You can do all of that when you understand building basic agents. But today, we will only cover an agent that you paste the job description and it matches with your resume profile and creates us a cover letter for you. All right, let's do one thing. Okay, now for an agent, I create a project because I need, and I have created one. I'll cover this, but I'll create another one. The project is basically you want to give it a very fixed memory. Okay, so I'll say job application agent two. Okay, this project saves, creates cover letter for job application. Okay, and I'm creating this project. All right, I'll just copy the instructions from somewhere. Okay, now I am giving an instruction. If you notice, it's again simple markdown where I've given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Says one tip, professional tone, under 250 word, match my resume skill, all of that. I've given some as an instruction and I say save instruction. Okay, and I'm just gonna download a sample resume, save it into my desktop, and I'm searching on internet, guys. So I'm not sharing for that. I'm just getting a very simple uh, resume. Okay, this is some common resume that I've got. So basically, I don't have to upload my resume again and again. Okay, it's a MERN stack, it's a tech stack, it's a MERN stack instruction. So I've just saved this and my agent is ready. Now, if I have attached some common skills that how to write and stuff like that, this will become supercharged. But I could do that in instruction as well. Okay. Now, what it does is now this is a let's find a job. MERN stack jobs for fresher because that resume was of a fresher, and I will copy paste a JD. Please, it's not on screen share yet, but I'm just finding the JD and pasting it here. Okay. Are you with me on this so far? Okay. Now I have given a permanent memory. Okay. And this is what I was talking about when we were doing the nutritionist as well. I could upload my reports, right? Rather than use nutritionist skill will be there, but a different agent whose only focus is to, push me to do certain things, workout reports. Let's say I'm syncing my data of my fitness bands into Claude. You could do that, right? We'll not cover an advanced automations today, but we'll understand that hey, if an agent has hands, what it can do. Now, the earlier agent we showed MCP, which was a tool example. This agent I'm showing how the memory works. Okay, so memory may have added my file, which is a sample resume. Okay, and I paste it here. That will match with my resume. So it will write interview tips, LinkedIn message, and a cover letter. And now it's matching my resume to job description and then crafting a resume accordingly. Look at that. The analysis is saying this job wanted Vue.js. AWS basic, but these are all greens in my resume. Cover letter. It has given me the cover letter during hiring team at GR7 Technologies. I'm excited to have Monstack developer trainee at this technology and everything. So this resume was of Samuel Kelling from Caltech. My technical skill maps to closely with your requirement. React and Vue.js on the front end, Node.js and MongoDB on the back end. GitHub on version control. I carry AWS basic experience, which aligns with G7. This all of that is matched based on resume. Look at a LinkedIn message. Hi, name. Recently applied for Monstack developer trainee. Step 4. It has given me interview things to lead with Evernote backend impact. Use the Caltech hack as your teamwork and speed story. So it's saying you can use the Caltech as hack. Highlight self-learning with your Oracle Java certifications. How cool is that? This was all part of a resume. I can bring up the resume that I have uploaded so that you know the context. Now imagine Claude can do that actually. By the way, I'm not going to cover that now. We are arriving at the end of our session. But Claude can actually control your browser. You need to install a plugin. So if you're doing some internet research, which is blocking to do certain thing, if an AI does it, you can manipulate it with Claude. But be seated there if in case there is, I'm a human. Things comes up, right? Because it will understand how the mouse is getting moved, even though Claude will be able to bypass if it's an image only, but Google and everything have become really really smart, so you'll have to bypass that. But if you see, it can browse, it can download a lot of data. So browser becomes your tool. In that case, it becomes super super useful. So if you know how to write instruction, if you can manipulate browser, certainly it can actually not only open up your browser, go into your Gmail, write this email in a cover letter, attach your resume. You could have multiple copies of your resume. It will attach the relevant resume and send out an email. How cool is that? Alrighty. So this was my session, and thank you. So this was a very basic session on understanding an agent. It was, we will cover a lot more session where we'll build very very specific agent for specific purposes. So be part of the community so that you can give an ideas and I can make more content that very very specific that you would want to solve. If you want to connect with me, these are uh, my coordinates. You can connect, you can scan, you can follow me, right? My channel was called Vela Banda, which is a Punjabi terms mean a person who's not doing much. Now it's called AI with Gigi. So thanks, Sankir. It's a good compliment. By cooked by AI to cooking with AI. So Somnath is asking, when working across multiple models, which is the key prompt design principles stays. So RCCF is understood by most models. So you can use that format, and that is why specifically I said Markdown is something that uh, not most, all LLM will be able to understand. So you can use structurally. Always give a persona. Always give what needs to be done. Giving a context will be really helpful unless you have built a project like we did in Claude, which is building its own memory and you have some things in your permanent memory. So let's say all of your research documents going into a permanent memory and then you're building something out of it, right? So it will build a memory. If the memory is not there, the context is really, really required. Command, of course, we do give the command, but make it more specific. define it with more format, limited with what you want, refine it, and how you want to present it, right? Let's say if you're not given a format, you're looking for a PDF document, but it has given you a markdown document, or the vice versa. All right, if you have not liked my channel, please like, share, and subscribe. It will give me a lot of motivation to make such sessions more interactive. This was a very basic session on getting your hands on and understanding what an AI agent is. Now you'll should be curious about finding a lot of public MCPs, finding a lot of use case that you can build, connect your tools, connect your agents, and build small agents. If you're working in a profession where MCP servers are not available, if you're working with something, you can convert your APIs internally into an MCP server with the help of your developers in your team, and you can supercharge your work. All right, with this, we're ending this stream. Thank you again for all for joining. I hope this was some learning and you made something out of it. Thanks for your Sunday morning. We'll plan next session. I would want a little more targeted next time. This was a very open-ended session. Next session will be a little more focused about specific use cases. So please participate in community. Please follow in the community. I will share a lot more details on very specific sessions. There is a session that I'm doing only for product managers. There's a session I'm doing only for developers. There's a session that I've planned only for analytics, and there is a session for students as well. So these are four sessions that I've planned. But in what order do I need it depends on how people want it in the community and what kind of community we are building. Thank you, everyone. I'm ending the stream. Thanks. Bye bye. Take care. Have a nice Sunday. Yeah, great suggestion. We'll do one on building MCP servers as well, but that's only for, I'll probably cover it with the developer session because that requires some coding skills, right? Though I write my code through AI as well. Okay, well, next time we want to cover sub agents as well. So just to give you an example, I have a team of agents that does all a lot of work. So I instruct one thing. There's a orchestrator agent that calls up multiple agents to do certain work, and that becomes super powerful. Thanks. Bye.